the Republican Party talks the talk, but Marjorie Greene, she walks the walk when it comes to what she really believes. And thanks to an interview from the Turning Points USA conference over the weekend, attended by sad, soulless students. Now we know that everything we've been talking about, in terms of stripping away like basic civil rights, bodily autonomy rights, that's and how we're headed towards a theocracy. That's what she agrees as well. She just wants the GOP to say it. We are a party of Christian nationalists. Take a look.
What do you think is the primary focus of the GOP going into 2022? What should it be opposed to what it is?
I think Republicans really need to recognize the people they represent. Okay, their voters, not the lobbyist donors, not the corporate PACs, not those people. That's not who the Republican Party should represent. We need to be the party of nationalism, and I'm a Christian, and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists. And when Republicans learn to represent most of the people that vote for them, then we will be the party that continues to grow without having to chase down certain identities or chase down, certain segments of people. We just need to represent Americans, and most Americans, no matter how they vote, really care about the same things.
Read white people. There's so much to unpack there that I apologize that we need to take that BS point by BS point. But she looks forward to the day when the GOP can just openly say that they're Christian nationalists. They're nationalists. They don't believe in any corporation or the donors. And by the way, this is someone who absolutely takes donor money. 100%. The fossil fuel industry just covering the GOP with all of its money. They receive money all the time. But nationalists, what does she really mean? As opposed to what? Oh, globalist? Is that the word you want to say? Anyone who's from over there, Like, is she Native American? Is she an original founder of this nation? What are we talking about here, Marjorie? But of course we know what she's talking about. And I don't know about you, Ray, but I kind of enjoy hearing her just come out and say Christian nationalism, because there's no more veneer of we believe in the Constitution, we believe in a plurality of religion and belief and a separation of church and state. We believe in Ben Shapiro being able to be part of our disgusting movement, as a Jew. No, Christian nationalism.
I don't enjoy hearing her say anything because I am disgusted by the sound of her voice. It makes me want to slam my head into a concrete wall. But I agree. I'd much rather have them come out and just be honest about it than hide behind like a shield of Constitution. Which, first of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know like what most of the Constitution says. Like if you asked her to tell you what the 11th Amendment was, despite her claiming to be like a constitutional defender, like she'd start drooling in front of you. Like this is a dumb person. But yeah, I mean, it is easier to fight against it when they're not pretending to not be fascist. I mean, she's coming out and saying, yeah, actually fascism is good and I'm a fascist and we should not be promoting any sort of diversity and the separation of church and state. In fact, the state should be controlled by the church.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I don't think they'll ever come out and embrace the word fascism, but that's absolutely what they believe in is a uniformity of thought, of religion, of state control and state power. Ironic for a movement that professes to hate big government, to hate the state, to hate the fact that the government can or cannot say what you do in your own private life. No, that is what they're actually advocating for here. And so there was obviously a lot of folks who responded to Marjorie Greene's comments. Freedom from Religion Foundation fired back at her and quoted or said, loving your country is not nationalism. Nationalism is what led Europe into centuries of endless war over imagined borders and the notion of national superiority, like the unification of state and church. This is an embarrassing misstep in European history that Americans should be proud we have learned from. Nationalism is inherently divisive and dangerous. Yeah, So obviously we're talking about World War II, we're talking about Nazi Germany, we're talking about the Third Reich. I'm not convinced that Marjorie Greene and the MAGA movement look at World War II and think that Hitler was in the wrong. Like, I'm reminded, and I know these people are dumb as rocks, but I am reminded of Candace Owens. And I know they're grifters, I know they say things to say it, but I'm reminded of Candace Owens being like, the problem with Hitler was he just had dreams outside of Europe, but everything was hunky-dory in it. And you're like, oh yeah, no, tight, yeah, Jewish ghettos, very, very cool. You're like, so again, this is, I mean, you tell me, I haven't seen the evidence that they've learned the lesson from Nazi Germany.
I think they learned the lesson, and the lesson is that they're gonna do it again. Like they're paying attention. They're like, okay, how can we do this again but not lose next time? Like, I mean, you're right. I mean, they're like, I'm sorry, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a stupid bitch. Every time just anything she says just is obnoxious. But like at the end, like she knows what she's doing. She's saying stupid stuff to get people to donate to her because she is one of the biggest fundraisers for the Republicans in the House right now. Yeah. So it's not just big money donations. Of course, she's getting those too, but she's also good at getting more grassroots type donations from individual Republican voters, which is something that they also needed, some sort of like a sense of populism that they could steal from and copy from the left. And we saw that with Trump and now the fascist wing of the Republican Party, which I mean, at the end of the day, they all vote as a bloc and they're all supporting the same things. It's just a matter of whether or not they're willing to say it out loud. And people like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene are too stupid to not say it out loud. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And let's just look at this. You mentioned the 11th Amendment. Let's just talk about the First Amendment, guys. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. There you go. Doesn't say what religion, doesn't say a Christian God. Of course, they all want you to believe that the founding fathers only had Christianity in mind, and that's not true. And we've expanded on those rights since the slaveholding founding fathers established them. Let's just look at the electorate now. So graphic 4, as a share of registered voters who are religiously unaffiliated has increased, the share who identify as Christian has actually declined. More than 1/4 of voters identify religiously unaffiliated today, up from 15% in 2008. Those who identify as Christian decreased from 79% to 64% in that same period. Okay, so again, 64%, that's still a majority. So all the fragility around Christianity being wiped out, and sort of like code word for white Christians being wiped out, none of that is real. It is all very much imagined. However, your asses are not making a very good case for Christianity. And yeah, a lot of people are identifying more as unaffiliated and or not Christian at all. I'm sorry, how many stories of like pervy pastors need to come out before we realize, gee, Christianity, not always practicing what Jesus preached.
Yeah, it does suck though that the Supreme Court seems to be pretty much aligned with what she's saying, because I mean, there was 2 ridiculous cases where they said that a school that teaches like blatantly anti-Islamic things as a Christian private school could be funded with taxpayer dollars, and then they said that the football coach who was praying at the 50-yard line, I don't know, like putting his hand on kids' heads, surrounded by children, surrounded by media and a state legislator, that was a private act of prayer and protected by the First Amendment, which is insane. And it's just a further descending into Christian fascism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.